Interesting being in a newsroom when something like this is happening, because you have all the people like us who don't know anything about the weather, and then you have the weather team. And we're all saying, doesn't look like it's going to snow. Oh, and you guys are like, oh, it's coming.
We get a couple emails like that, sometimes with colorful language. You just got to be patient with these. It's supposed to rain at the start here. So what we're watching are those heavier rates that are moving in. That helps to cool down the atmosphere. So the warmer air that we have in eastern Massachusetts, many of our viewers are watching it snow right now. In eastern Mass, we still have some of that warmer air, but right above, it's very cold. So once we get the heavier rates to mix in, that's where you cool the whole air mass down. That's where we get our heavy wet snow. All right. So let's dig in tonight. And this is a look at our storm system. You can see it's really taken off to our south. Tremendous snows in New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania today, and into parts of eastern New York and the Berkshires. And we'll be watching the main push of this storm moving in this evening. So here's a look at the radar. Some thunder snow reported across much of southern Connecticut this evening. And there you see some of those heavier rates that are beginning to lift up toward the south coast. That will be the issue that starts to make our flip as we head into the evening. The snow falling across New Hampshire, toward the North Shore, still just rainfall east of 95. We talked about that coastal front. Along and east, it is raining right now. And then you've got some snow starting to pick up across the Milford area and 495. And as we look off toward the south, see as that heavier stuff starts to move in, start to see that changeover beginning to occur. And that will continue as we head into the next few hours. Picture from Ringe. Katie sending this one in. Winter wonderland out there. A couple inches so far. She said it's snowing quite heavily at this time. And certainly New Hampshire will do well. You see the temperature difference. Low 30s across southern New Hampshire and in central Massachusetts. And here you have your rain zone with that coastal front and temperatures that are in the upper 30s to around 40. It's going to take a while to cool that air down. So as we head into the evening, there you see your heavier rates moving in for inland areas. We hit 9 to 10 o'clock, and that's where it really starts to pick up more at the coastline, where we see that flip. At the same time, take note of the temps, still above freezing. It's a really heavy, wet snowfall that's going to come down. So I think our main issues with this storm are going to be with the potential of power outages. It only takes a few inches of heavy, wet snow with those gusty winds to bring down some limbs and trees. And we know a lot of our trees are damaged from the storm just last week. So that's going to be our main threat and a good time to charge up the electronics. Tomorrow morning, things will be winding down from south to north. Still some lingering snow possible toward Essex County and into New Hampshire to start the day. And high temps tomorrow will be close to 40 degrees. Still a scattered rain or snow showers we head into the afternoon. So from a road impact, really picking up right now, especially west of 95. Conditions will be pretty nasty throughout the overnight into early tomorrow. Expected snow amounts, most get 6 to 12 here. Again, once you head west of 95, locally there could be a few spots over a foot here in northeastern Connecticut, central Mass, and into southeastern New Hampshire. We can zoom in a little bit. You can see how sharp that gradient is from 3 to 6 at the coast, back to the bigger totals once you head away from the water. And south of Boston, Randolph in the 3 to 6, Lakeville in the 3 to 6, 1 to 3 in Plymouth, and as you head toward the Cape, a coating to an inch possible late tonight. And as for that snow type, it's heavy, wet stuff here. This is really sticky snowfall that'll be coming down over the course of the next few hours. Want to head over to Barry Burbank, who's in studio tonight, taking a look at some of the winds and some of the seas they're going to be building with this storm. Barry?
Yeah, Eric, that's another component to the storm is the wind, and fortunately it's not going to be as powerful as the preceding storm produced around here, but still we already have some gusts up there running 20 to 40 mile-per-hour winds here in Boston across much of the region, so that will continue and ramp up even more during the nighttime hours as this pressure gradient tightens up as the storm continues to develop. So 35 to 50 mile-per-hour winds along the coast, maybe up to 60 miles per hour in some gusts on Cape Cod. Even inland will be running 25 to 35, some higher gusts over some of the hilltops coming up overnight tonight. Wave heights right now just offshore at many of the buoys running at 9, 10 feet, so they're going to continue to build through the night, and therefore we're concerned about more coastal flooding, not reaching the magnitude of what we had last weekend, but nevertheless, looks like much of the area will have some minor coastal flooding and pockets of moderate coastal flooding. We have a coastal flood warning up for the North Shore, up along the New Hampshire coast. Also on the South Shore, it's just a coastal flood advisory over most of the Cape and the islands right now. There certainly is going to be more beach erosion, call it moderate beach erosion at this time, with the high tides we're concerned about is in the early morning hours, right around 3:30, give or take a little bit, from Hampton Beach down through Gloucester, Boston, Scituate, a little later, of course, down on Dennis, where there is a coastal flood advisory down there. So the wind is another factor of this storm, and the question is, when will we get out of this storm, and will there be more storms in the pipelines coming up soon? Eric?
Barry, we've been talking about this next possible potential, which is toward the start of next week. The good news is, in the interim, tomorrow's winds are offshore. Fridays and Saturdays are generally offshore, so this won't be as prolonged of an erosion type of event near the coastline for those towns that have just been taking a beating over the last several days. The next system to watch will be Monday into Tuesday of next week. Another nearby strong nor'easter. Will it be a hit? It's still a little too early to say, but keep this in the back of your mind. We'll dig into that storm more tomorrow once we get this one out of here. But here's the full 7-day. It's a fairly chilly but typical stretch. And keep in mind, how about some good news? Daylight saving time on Sunday. More bright times at the end of the day. David, Elisa, over to you.
We are going to need it.